Good afternoon. Let's try again. Good afternoon. Welcome to Bearbackers. We got a full slate of coaches here today to talk with you about their programs and quite a few things on campus this week. So we'll jump right in. Men's and women's cross country. We hosted the UCA Bear Invitational this past Saturday. For the women, Madeline Hill claimed the top spot with a time of 16:34. Lydia Butler, Arizona Blankenship, Abby Macheski, and Sequoia Prentice took spots 2 through 5. Didn't let anybody else anywhere near the podium. This gave the team the first place finish. For the men, Jack Dingman took the top scoring spot with Trey Baker finishing second, Mason Bickle fourth, Logan Dingman 6th, and Samuel Morales 7th, which also gave the men the first place finish. Next race for both teams will be on September 26th in Columbia, Missouri for the Gaines Creek Classic. Now let's hear from head coach Josey Weaver.
Coach Bishop's kind of taking over for Steve. He took all my stuff I was going to tell you, so everybody have a good day. And No, it was a good one for us. So we're fortunate to set our schedule up the way that we do. We brought 4 D1s in with UAPB, North Texas, Little Rock, and ourselves, and then we had some others as well. But I would call that a rust buster. Really happy with where, I'll start on the men's side first, where we started off a year ago. It's the same team. We got beat by Little Rock a year ago. That was a bad taste in our mouth. That was the first time I think we'd lost the I-40 challenge in my tenure here, and I know that meant a lot to the guys. I tell them if that's our one goal, though, and that's all we care about, then we're in trouble when we get to November. So we've really been smart with how we set up the summer training and leading into it. They showed up and ran great. They've really worked on their craft this summer and have developed themselves to a place to where we're better than we've ever been. So really excited for the men for showing up. Really, there's nobody new to tell you about. It is the same team as last year, and we're pretty experienced there. For the women, I've never been a part of a perfect score before. You score 5 in cross country, and when you can go 1 through 5, I mean, that's the lowest score we can possibly have. And for that to happen against the teams we raced, we were really impressed. Before it, I know Coach Bishop had shared with you last week that we had a lot of young ones and new people, but I didn't expect them to race that way. They did not. Those last 3 names he named there with Lydia Butler, true freshman, Arizona Blankenship, true freshman, and Abby Macheski, a transfer sophomore for us. They showed up and were as advertised and did a really good job for us. Confidence is high right now. When we get back from Gaines Creek, we'll be humbled a little bit. That's going to be the pre-national course. We'll get to race against the best teams in the country there. And if we win that one, then be real excited. I know what's going to happen there, and we're going to be hungry when we get back and have to work a little bit for the ASUN conference. But excited for that. 4-week window of a training block. That's what we have. So we won't race for a while. You won't be able to see any results for a while. This morning we actually were already getting after it, and the ladies put in about a 10-mile day and the men about a 15-mile day this morning. So we're getting after it. Excited for the year. So I'll take any questions if there are, but if not, go Bears. All right, thank you.
15 miles? It's a lot. Moving on to women's soccer. Bears are off to 2-3 start. Both of the wins coming the last couple of weeks against ULM and Sacramento State. This past week, their match against Arkansas State was canceled due to all the rain that we had on Thursday. Sunday, the Bears went down and played in the I-40 showdown in Little Rock. Kayla Hurley and Leah Deuce Madsen scored goals for us in that match. This week, the Bears have just one match, and it is at home, and it's Thursday night against UAPB, and the kickoff is set for 7 p.m. I'll let Coach Derek Nichols, this is the very first time to introduce the new women's head coach, Derek Nichols.
Thank you, Jeremy. Before I get started and kind of recap the season, I feel like we're almost halfway through already, and everybody else is starting. I want to introduce my wife, Jessica, who is a former UCA alum as well as I. So she is our number one supporter, and she's here. So wave at everybody, Jessica. I feel like I said, I feel like our season's almost half over. It is a third over. We've played now 5 games, should have played 6. Like Jeremy said, the one game got canceled with Arkansas State. Unfortunately, there's not another date on the schedule that works for both of us to put that back in anywhere, so we lost that game. So just quick rehash. Opened up the season here with first match was Tulsa was the first one. Tulsa was the first one. Dropped that one 2-1 against a very, very good Tulsa team. Played really well second half. Could have had a chance to equalize, didn't, and dropped that one 2-1. Next game was the Monroe game where we were. That day it was 115 degrees outside. We tried to get that game moved at night. They couldn't do it, so we moved it up just a couple hours, which I don't think that helped at all. But that was the intent. But we were down 1-0 at half that match, and then came back in, scored 3 goals second half. Played a really good second half. I think we kind of ran them into the ground with the numbers that we have. So that was a good result for us that day to get the first win there, 3-1. And then the next 2 games were pretty exciting. We got to take a little trip to a little place called Hawaii, and so went out there, and that was a really good trip. It was a long trip. Heading out there, we got up at 3 a.m. on that Wednesday to get to the airport for a 5:30 flight to Dallas, where we got to sit for 4 hours in our layover, and then we got to sit for another 3 hours because of a mechanical issue. And they came on and said the mechanical issue was one seatbelt. So we sat there for the seatbelt to get fixed. Anyhow, so we get out there, and it was obviously late afternoon out there, but with the time change, by the time we went to bed that evening, we had been up for 24 hours. So long travel day. We turned around and played the next day. So we got up that morning, went out to the fields, did a little walkthrough, got back that day, sat around, rested up, get out to the match that night, and play a Hawaii team that won their conference last year, and played them 1-0. Same thing, had really good opportunities at the end of the game to tie that game, and we don't. Ended up dropping that one 1-0, but it was pretty cool to hear, speaking with the Hawaii coach after that she and her staff said that they were very impressed with the fight that our team had, considering we kicked off, which our time would have been at midnight, and finished that game at 2 o'clock in the morning, our time. So they're pretty impressed with the fight that we brought to that, especially the way we finished that game. Didn't get the result, but really proud of the effort that we had going down the stretch in that one. The next game, we got to play, our 2 days in between, the parents organized a luau on Friday night, so we got to go experience that, which was really, really cool experience for the team. And then the next day, on Saturday, on our off day, we went out and checked out Pearl Harbor, so that was a really cool experience for the players as well. Going into the match on Sunday, we were playing Sacramento State, who was a national tournament team last year, and on Thursday, they were all part of this little tournament that we had just beat Oregon. So we knew we had our hands full with that group, and so changed a little bit of the way we played because they're a real big, athletic, strong, tall team. So we added a little bit different kind of formation to it to try to help combat that, and end up pulling that one out 1-0. So kind of survived it in the end because they were just pumping balls in the box. They had 6'2" players in there that were trying to fight off, and the team did a tremendous job with that. And like I said, pulled that one out, came back home with a 1-0 win against Sacramento State. Real excited about that one. Come into Thursday, got that one canceled with the weather with Arkansas State, and then the Sunday match, the Little Rock one, and that one stung. Came out, played really well first half. We were up 2-0 at halftime, or 2-1 at halftime. It was 2-0, just a couple minutes left to go in the first half, and they say that 2-0 is the most dangerous score in soccer just because you kind of get complacent with that 2-0 lead. They're getting hungry. Well, they got one right before halftime, and I think that was big. I mean, if we could have gone to half 2-0, they wouldn't have had the fight that they had second half. They got that one back. They started getting a little energy, and second half they came out and were really super aggressive with us. We didn't handle it real well second half. It was a strange match. The referees came to me before the game and thought we were playing in a scrimmage, and so it wasn't a scrimmage. And so the crew that we got, I think, was set up for a scrimmage, and unfortunately it kind of showed a little bit. And so there were some really weird calls in that match. Their second goal, I think we got fouled on the end line. We all kind of stopped. Play goes on. They score. It's 2-2. And we're like, okay. Still felt fine about it. They get a player come in, probably should have went straight red with two-footed studs up tackle on one of our players, gets a yellow card, should have been tossed from the match, doesn't happen. Anyhow, so it goes on, and they score a third one on a giveaway on us, and that was definitely on us. And so the way we ended that game, it left a sour taste in our mouth, but I think it left us hungry for sure. I mean, we've come, we're excited with what we've been able to do. We know we can do more. We've got a ways to go, but we're really excited about the group that we have. We're certainly going to bounce back from that result for sure. This next game we got Thursday is Arkansas Pine Bluff, and that's one that we should be able to, if we take care of business like we should, be able to get a lot of players a lot of minutes in that game and rest some of our key players to hold out, get ready for the next one after that, which would be Missouri State. And then we go into conference, and so we're just 2 games away from conference. Excited with where we're at. Like I said, we got some work to do, but it's been a good start to the season. We're looking forward to the rest of it. So, any questions? All right, thank you. Go Bears.
All right, moving on to men's soccer. The Bears have played a difficult schedule to start the 25 season. Started out 0-3, but all 3 of the matches have been against really good competition and have been really competitive matches. This past Friday, they lost 1-0 at Tulsa. The next Bears match will be on Sunday, September 7th, up at Missouri State. I'll let Coach, also for the first time, new head coach Kyle Segebart.
Very cool. Thank you so much for the time. Real quickly before I start, though, I also want to introduce my staff who's here supporting me today. So, Will Montgomery, assistant coach. If anybody's involved with Arkansas soccer, they know Will. Will's been around for a while. He's a pillar in our community. Very excited to have him on staff with his maturity, his experience, and everything that he brings in. Connections to the community is going to be a big asset for our program going forward. And then Eitan Waitsfield joins us from Simon Fraser University up in BC, Canada. Comes in to be our goalkeeper coach. He's also working with Arkansas Rising as the goalkeeper coach in the community. So again, another touch point into our community here in the greater Conway area. And then finally, Joe Lacasso comes from UNC Asheville. He'll be our lead assistant after a great couple of years there. So excited to have those guys. A quick little round of applause for them. Okay, just to touch on the 3 games that we've had so far. As Jeremy was already saying, our games have been very difficult. We start off going away to Portland. Their opening night's always a fun one to watch. I don't know if anybody was able to catch it on ESPN, but you got about 6,500 fans there at the game, including their their little supporter section with the smoke and the banners and all that stuff that they've got going on. Food trucks. We've done it before. We went out in 22, played in that game as well. So me personally and 2 other players that were on the team that traveled for this trip were aware of the atmosphere that we were coming into. However, the new players that had not been involved with that, including 2 freshmen that we started on the day, that experience was a bit overwhelming for some of them. Walking away, a 3-0 result. Was it fair? Yes, they deserved to win that game. Was 3-0 a fair result on the day? Probably not, considering some of the mistakes that we made on the day to give them, especially the last one and really the first one for their goals. But we live and move on from it. The next day we took off as a team. We actually took the team out to Cannon Beach. If anybody's been out to the Oregon coast before, a very beautiful area, right? Allow them to have a bit of an experience, but also a lot of time for reflection, right? That was the message from the coaches and the staff and from all the senior players on the team was like, look, we need a reset. We just got pumped 3-0 the first game. We need to make sure, hey, let's focus on what can we change moving forward to know that the next game doesn't go the same way, because we were, quite honestly, poor on the day, right? So we left from there, flew down to Santa Barbara, playing at UCSB. I don't know if anybody knows anything about UCSB soccer, but they consider their stadium and location to be soccer heaven. It's on the sign as you walk out the stadium into their field. Now, really nice grass pitch. It's an old football stadium before UCSB did away with their football program, so that's where they play. The former professional team, that 901 that was in Memphis, is moving their franchise to Santa Barbara, and currently this isn't completely done yet, but currently have a contract or an agreement to play all their future home games there at UCSB Stadium. Supposedly, talking to the head coach ahead of time, it's around a $1.2 million deal to share that facility. So there could be some upgrades to that facility in the future, and then there'll be professional soccer going on in Santa Barbara as well as the university team there. So that being said, anybody knows Santa Barbara from a men's soccer perspective, it's a legendary team, right? They have all kinds of pros that have gone through that facility. Their coach has been there, I think, what they say, 26 years, right? Tim's been there, senior head coach. So we were obviously going into an environment that was always going to be difficult for us, but our team responded from the first night very, very well. Yes, we're giving up way too many chances, way too many opportunities as a team. We're going to continue to work and progress in that area, but at the same time, it took an offside call, probably dubious, very close to the dropped ball against Arkansas State last year, for if Coach Brown recalls. That could have gone either way. Unfortunately, the camera angle, the lighting of the camera, like all that stuff came down to they stuck with the call on the field with the assistant referee calling offside, and when we could have tied it up 2-2 at Santa Barbara. We also had a chance in the last 30 seconds of the game where the goalkeeper made an incredible save to keep it 2-1. So we dropped the decision 2-1, but ultimately walk away with a lot of confidence, feeling a lot better, having responded from the first result. And this was a team that was ranked number 1 in the Big West. They were 3 rounds into the national tournament last year, and they had, was it number 1 draft pick last year, or top 5 draft pick in the MLS last year, coming from UCSB. So it kind of gives you an indication of what level of teams we were playing against, right? Then finally we go to Tulsa. This was a game that we were all very excited about. Former assistant is coaching there now, but also it's a rivalry game. It really has become that over the past couple of years. It's only 3.5 hours away. They're playing in the American Athletic Conference. They kind of see us as the little brother, so we always enjoy going in there and giving them a strong match, and that's exactly what it was. We ended up losing 1-0. However, they could have been 1-1. I don't know if anybody caught ESPN top plays of the day, but their defender saved the ball on the line where we were able to keep the game 1-0, and we ended up dropping the game 1-0 at Tulsa. So where is the team right now? This team is a senior team. We've got quite a few players coming back for their senior year or even their 5th-year Pavia year here with us. We still have high expectations for the remainder of the year. However, our schedule does not get any easier. We go to Missouri State next. They're currently ranked 23rd in the country. They're a national tournament team the past 4 years in a row, right? So this is another game where we go in. We play them all the time, being geographically close. So we played them in the spring to a 2-2 draw. That's the first time in my time being here that we got a result against them. So we know the team, we know where we're going. We went there in the spring, like we're prepared for it. We're going to prep the whole team this week. We have all week to prepare for the game on Sunday, which is another rarity in college soccer, getting more than 2 or 3 days in between games to help train the team. So that, I believe, is going to help us and give us legs on the night. And then finally, the next 2 games after that, we go to High Point in North Carolina. High Point, Big South, number 1 last year regular season, right? Just missed out on the national tournament because they lost in their conference final, right? And then we finish against UNC Charlotte, who was, again, 2 rounds into the national tournament last year. So if we learned anything from this conversation, at least in week 1, that men's soccer is playing against some of the best teams in the country. Currently, our RPI is ranked 64th in the country out of 206. I seriously see that number dropping even lower to where we'll probably be in the 30s or 40s before we leave Missouri State, considering the results these teams continue to get. So we're going to test ourselves against the best in the country before we go into the A-Sun. Hopefully we're battle tested and ready to go. We're going to continue to build the team to remove the mistakes, but also we can't just continue to be a counter and bunker team that we've been in the past. This is a team that's hoping to impose themselves offensively on teams going forward so that we can go and win games, dominate games, and put UCA on the map as a national soccer program. So questions from anyone about how we're doing, where we're going? Yes, Gene.
I know we're still a few weeks away from being at home, but if I'm not mistaken, this coming Monday, you've got a younger group that's playing out here, correct?
So, great question. Our reserve group that we have, consider we do run 2 teams at UCA men's soccer. Our reserve team, their first game is actually tomorrow. We play Lyon College at 7 p.m. We'll have a mixture of new players coming in there because we've recruited players to be on that team, as well as we have players within the first team that are going to get some of their first minutes within that game as well. So,
Thank you. I
Yep.
missed that one, so.
7 p.m. tomorrow. Okay? Any other questions? Good? All right. Thank you so much for the time.
Moving on to volleyball, the Sugar Bears started off the 25 season with 2 difficult matches on the road in Houston. They took on the number 9 team in the country in the Texas A&M Aggies and also played Rice while they were down there. Sugar Bears took the Aggies to 5 games, which is an impressive feat in and of itself. And then on Sunday, the Owls beat the Sugar Bears in 3 tight matches. This week, we have 3 home matches. We take on Little Rock in the I-40 Showdown on Friday at 6 p.m., and then on Saturday, we've got Southeastern Louisiana at noon, and then Boston College on Sunday at 4. Not for the first time, but first time this year. Coach John Newberry.
I remember my very first football game, and we were heading down to Nichols State as a Division II team playing a Division I team. And I just remember that locker room there at Nichols State. Not ideal situations. I remember a golf ball getting thrown from the student section right over Coach Conk's head onto the field. I remember them having to remove that, and then we had a lightning storm going on in the background, and Landon Trusty caught a very first football touchdown and jumped over from the 5-yard line into the goal line, and he was way further than anybody else on that field. And then they called a penalty for him for celebrating too hard as a freshman. I remember my very first punt. I was extremely nervous. My hands were shaking, and I don't even remember how I punted. I just remember I was extremely nervous. So equating that into our very first season, or very first go at it this year, taking on number 9 Texas A&M with a member of a national team. I just remember going into that same game, having probably the nerves that I probably had as a freshman as well, knowing we're probably going to be having 2 freshmen starting because of some injuries and of sorts. So I lead all that into saying, last week I talked about one of our players, Trinity Hamilton, going over. We had a visit with Dr. Cole. We found out there's no tear or anything in her knee. So thankful for that. So she should be starting to ease her way back into practice this week. We had a steroid shot, found out that she just got a bad case of bad knees. I totally understand that. And so we're just trying to manage her throughout the rest of the season. Probably some of you guys can relate to that as well. But Trinity she's a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal player for our team. Chemistry is just through the roof. And being able to have her through this season is good. We need her on the court. And I'll tell you, she could have helped us probably beat Rice this past weekend. So A&M, we showed up to Houston at Rice and got to scout Rice. Really didn't care about, we got to scout A&M, didn't really care about Rice so much. We just wanted to take down number 9. That was our big focus. That's a game that we don't get an opportunity to play these top 10 teams, really ever. So what was that going to look like for us? Well, they've got a national team player on that team, plays on the USA volleyball team. Like, you're talking about one of the elite in the world. Big lefty right side. When she hits the ball, it sounds different, it feels different, it looks different. And if you ever go to a volleyball match, if you see someone touch the top of the antenna, that's different. There's not many people. Well, they had about 4 of those kind of players that can touch easily while reaching to the side, the top of the antenna. It's like, wow, we got our hands full. We obviously knew that. They just beat number 11 Minnesota a couple days before that. And so they beat Rice in 3. Well, our girls that are profoundly on social media went through all of the girls' social media and found out that they were planning on beating us so quick and so fast at our 2 o'clock match on that Saturday so they could go get on the bus and drive an hour and 45 minutes to go catch their 6 p.m. football game so they can get announced on the field. So what was my goal? Well, Number one, I wanted to make sure that they at least call one timeout. All right, so they're probably going to beat us, right? Number 9, it's we're down some like two starters. We're down, but we're going to give them all we got. And not only that, but knowing that they're going to try and make that, we're going to try and make them late to that game. That was the second goal, make them late to their football game. Well, what I didn't expect was for us to be up 2-1 within the first 3 sets. Had no idea that was going to happen. We saw panic, we saw frustration within their elite coaches, national team coaches. We saw some frustration within their girls. And we had our timeouts, and I don't even know what to say anymore. We're just having fun over there. I'm just hyping them up. We had some certain schematics and defense that we do. Sometimes as a dad and someone that's not relevant to these younger females, I try to be. So I had to use some dad jokes in the middle of the game. Also had to use some lyrics from Crank That from Soulja Boy in there. That seemed to work really, really well. The girls understood the assignment, and when I needed to make some things happen, it worked very, very well. After we got done with that game, so we lost, I believe, 15-8, 15-7, somewhere right in there. I don't even care. The fact that we were up 2-1 is a win in our book, and a lot of national attention. We got people's attention. I'm hearing from very elite coaches from all over the country saying congratulations, and it was fun. We had a blast. Problem is that we were so high and exhausted from playing that, and then when we almost took that first set, we were up 24-19 in the very first set against Rice. What happened is we got in a really, really bad rotation, and we got stuck. Just could not finish the game. Really took the wind out of our sail for that one, and then ended up losing those next 2 sets. So it was big learning from that. After that game was over with, we wanted that game so much as well, but just fell up short. But looking forward to this weekend. We've never had Boston College here, and people have been asking, how are you getting Oklahoma here? How are you getting Boston College all the way here? Well, I'll tell you. I'm trying not to go to Power 5 schools because they've got a lot of money, and I'm asking for a lot of money. I know football got paid well from Mizzou. I want to get paid well with these guys coming here, or are we going there? And anyway, so I'm asking a lot, and they're rejecting it. So I'm like, well, you can come here then, and I'd like to beat you here. And that's kind of what's happening. And so Boston College is playing Arkansas in a week from right now. And so they're like, hey, y'all are kind of close by. Can we just play 2 matches on Saturday, Sunday, and then drive up to Fayetteville and play Arkansas with the ACC and SEC challenge? I'm like, you bet. So that's how that's worked out. Obviously, we've got Euler, and they had a great weekend as well. That's going to be a very battle-tested weekend as well. And then having Southeastern Louisiana, they had just won the Southland Conference Championship last year, picked to be one of the top teams again. They are under new leadership because that previous coach has left and gone to Liberty. But once again, a very veteran staff as well. And our backs are up against the wall, still trying to figure out this position that we are still trying to get some kind of roll on. But, however, most exciting part is we made those girls miss their call out at their Texas A&M game, and I couldn't be more proud of those girls for making them late. What I forgot to mention is that their social media accounts, they knew that they were going to be getting done with this game, and they had all of their dresses, all of their cowboy boots, all of their things just sitting right there in their locker so they could get done, get dressed in the locker room, and go straight out to the football field. And by God, they barely made it to halftime. So proud of them. All right. Any questions? Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Go Bears.
All right, finishing up with football. Bears opened the 25 season last Thursday on the road at a SEC member Missouri in front of 57,000 fans. Luther Richardson made his first start for the QB for the Bears at QB, completing 13 passes, including a TD to Manny Smith. Luther also rushed for 32 yards. Landon Chambers carried the ball for 63 yards on 15 carries. On defense, Dylan Williams had 8 tackles. Dalen Land added another 7 tackles, and then punter Trace Beard had a big day with 304 total yards, a long of 54 for an average of 43.4. And he dropped a couple of those balls down inside the 20. Moving forward, the Bears have their home opener this Saturday against UAPB. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. Let's hear from head coach Nathan Brown.
John, no offense to you, but I'm going to try for the next 11 weeks that we don't lead with the punter stats. But what a night by Trace Beard. I'll say this, like, Jeremy texted me, he's like, got anybody to nominate this week for awards? And I said, Trace Beard kicked like an NFL punter. I mean, there's no question. I mean, the kid was – matter of fact, on the one big return that they've got on us, he just outkicked the coverage. I mean, it was a bomb. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of to be lighthearted about a tough night, I mean, to be honest with you. You go into these games and you get excited about them. I mean, it's an opportunity to compete against the best. You're talking about a top 20 program. When you break down what they are, the resources they have, the investments they've made. Mentioned it last week. They'd won 21 games in the last 2 years. It's just different. I mean, you walk into that stadium and you see what they're doing. I mean, putting $250 million worth of additions to the end zone. Coach Drinkwitz, he's a guy that is a top 10 paid coach in the country. I mean, there's a lot of things being pumped into that program, and you know what? They played like it. They've got really talented football players and student athletes that are representing their program. So we knew it was going to be a tall task. Now, as a competitor and as a coach, you keep your team motivated by dangling the carrot in front of them to go climb the mountain and win the game. And so to do that, you've got to play near perfect football. This is just reality. Let me just talk reality for a second in college football. Going and playing the University of Missouri is different than going and playing Arkansas State University. Let's just be totally honest, and that's no knock on Arkansas State. Let's be honest. That's not a knock on Arkansas State or Tulsa or Middle Tennessee. It's a tough ask to go play in the SEC and in the world we're in at this point. I mean, it's borderline playing a professional football team at this point. And I thought our guys belonged. Now, 61-6 does not look like we belonged. I get that, and it's not. As a matter of fact, I told our team I wish we could have played Saturday. I mean, I would have played University of Arkansas Pine Bluff Saturday if I could have, because the pulp in my stomach and the feeling of a loss sitting on it for 9 days as a competitor is really hard. I don't care if it came from Missouri or if it came from a team down the street. It's just a sucky feeling. So, but there's a lot to take from this game. I'll say this. I'll start with this. We belonged in the trenches. Our offensive and defensive lines belonged in that game. They did not move the line of scrimmage like they wanted to. Our defensive line on first and second down put them in some binds. They could not run the ball up the middle. That's a testament to one, schematically, but two, our talent up front. We made them make adjustments on offense at halftime. They started doing more of a toss outside run game to try to use their speed and to get on the edge of our defense. They did a good job of that in the second half. But running the ball up the middle, controlling the line of scrimmage, I was very, very pleased with our defensive front. The frustrating thing on defense was we let them get over the top of us a couple times, at corner. They've got elite speed. I mean, that one kid was Mississippi State's leading receiver last year, paid him a lot of money to come over there to Missouri, and he looked like he was worth every penny, at least against the Bears. And so we've got to do some things to help those corners out against elite competition. I think we're really talented at corner. I think we've got enough speed at corner. But that's enough speed, that I'm excited about in the United Athletic Conference, not necessarily against an SEC opponent. So we've got to do some things when we know we're playing some higher competition to help those guys out. But again, I wanted to talk about the front. The front played where they were supposed to play, and they played how we want them to play. Offensively, as the scheme we're going to run, we want to run the football. We rushed for almost 160 yards against an SEC opponent. There was three other teams in the SEC that rushed, three teams that played SEC opponents that rushed for more yards than we did against an SEC opponent on week one. Yeah, clap for that, please. Yeah, right? I mean, now think about that. Let's put that into perspective. We averaged 4 yards a carry. This offense is going to tick off the run game. Landon Chambers ran his tail off. Luther Richardson added another almost 40 yards in rushing from the quarterback position. You saw flashes from those other three running backs, Chapman McCown, Cam Young, and Jalen Washington. That's a good four-man tandem. Obviously, it's Landon Chambers' show, but those other three guys are going to be nice additions to that room. What we weren't able to manufacture as much of was explosive plays in the pass game. Here's what was answered. Luther Richardson belonged. He competed his tail off. He made great decisions the whole night. He graded out at over 90% on decision making. If you can do that consistently, playing the position of quarterback, and you play like-minded competition, you're going to win a lot of football games, I feel like. And so I was pleased with the way Luther played. He was poised. I don't know if you saw it, but at times he was managing the game. He was getting guys lined up. There was no panic in him. He would come to the sideline, and he just had good, clear eyes. He was not wide-eyed. It's easy to get wide-eyed in games like that. When you're staring at a transfer defensive end number 8 from Georgia, a transfer defensive end number 9 from Michigan State, both of them about 6'5". They look like avatars. I mean, that'll make you nervous, and Luther didn't blink. And so I'm excited about what he brings to the table. Obviously, we had an unfortunate injury with Austin going into the game. He injured his foot in a non-contact injury during practice. Leading up to the game and didn't get the results we wanted from an x-ray. So Austin's out for the next few weeks. Hopefully that's it. We're managing his injury to the best of our ability. Hopefully can get him back and let us see what he can do. But I'll tell you this, I was excited about what Luther did. Didn't throw for a lot of yards. Didn't put him in position to I knew their pass rush was good. I wasn't going to put him in a position to sit back there and let them pin their ears back and just come rush the quarterback a lot. We wanted to give him some play action stuff, some things that could get the ball out of his hands quick. They were really doing a good job. I underestimated the talent that those defensive backs had. They were really talented in the defensive backfield. I feel like we've got talented receivers, but they did a good job locking us down. And I thought Luther on three deep balls, he put it right where he needed to put it. We just didn't finish the play. So that's encouraging. We drove the ball down the field. He put it where it was supposed to be. We just got to finish the play at wideout. So there's some pluses. There's some positives. Yes, punting was part of the plus. We didn't get a chance to see a field goal kicker. Coach Brown, why'd you go for 2? Get 7 on the board. Man, I needed extra offensive snaps. Why'd you keep Luther in the 4th? He needs snaps. We need work. Look, some of these guys are brand new. I need those guys getting work. I got asked that a couple of times, like, why'd you not put Caleb Koger in the 4th quarter? Well, protect Luke. I need him to get his nose bloodied. I need him to continue to work and see and play live action so that, it fares well in September, October, and November. And so there's a lot of tough decisions within a game like that. I thought on the front end of the game, the holding penalty on the first drive really derailed us. We had a 3rd down call. We had some scripted plays. We had a really good first couple plays. We go run a little flare screen, quarterback run. Luther gets it up to about the 47-yard line. Man, we're rolling. Bam, flag out. Got a holding call on Ty Durham. Tough call. We only had 5 penalties the whole day, which is great. Look, they had 8, we had 5, so we won the penalty battle. But those 5 penalties were all in the first quarter. They were every one of them were in the first quarter. So you can't start fast, putting yourself behind the chains or getting penalties within the game, early in the game, to stay in a game like that. So a lot to gain, a lot to build on. People have asked me about our team's confidence. Our team's fine. Our team knows. You watch the film and you see a lot of what ifs. You see a lot of, I think this guy's going to have separation this week on this route that he didn't have this week against Missouri, right? There's just some things that we're doing schematically that are clean, they're sound. I think we both, offense and defense, called good football games. You just, at some point, you get out-athleted. We got to get better on 3rd down. 3rd downs were bad the other night. Not good on offense and not good on defense. We couldn't get them off the field, and we couldn't keep the chains moving on offense to sustain drive. So, we've got to get a better 3rd down plan as far as that goes. But looking forward to the opportunity against the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff this week. So, putting that game to rest. It's Tuesday. Honestly, I haven't thought about that game since last Friday, so I'm rehashing all that just off memory. I've been totally locked in on opponent number 2. We were locked in on them all weekend. We worked all weekend as coaches, gave the players off Saturday to let them rest and recover, and then we got back and had good practice on Sunday night. So we've had the page turned to the home opener against UAPB, and a great opportunity to play a SWAC opponent here on the Stripes to open up the home season. And so we're looking forward to that. Again, Saturday at 6 o'clock, I would fully expect them to bring a good crowd. They usually do. I would fully expect us to have a great crowd. It's supposed to be great weather. I'll tell you, this is a rare occurrence, and not that I care about any of the other teams, but you're talking about the 4 Division I football programs playing within a 30-mile radius on Saturday afternoon. It's pretty cool. Arkansas is playing Arkansas State at War Memorial. UCA's hosting UAPB. I mean, what a neat deal for the state, for football, for all that's involved. I mean, what a neat situation. You don't see that. I don't know that it's ever happened. I wouldn't want to quote that, but it's pretty impressive weekend for Division I football in the state. So we're excited. We're ready to turn the page. I like this team. I'm confident about this team. I'm looking forward to turning the page to Saturday, and I know our players are too. With that being said, would love to take any individual questions if there may be any. Bobby?
Coach, Missouri lost a quarterback for the year. We lost 2 D-backs at first.
Yeah.
How are they now?
I was just talking to Matt about this in the back. We lost. We'll be without 2 starters for the next significant amount of time. Jackson Kosmeyer starting tight end. Hurt his knee pretty good. He's on crutches right now. He's got an MCL issue, so that's probably going to be. I'm prayerful that it's a 4 to 6 week deal, non-surgical situation, I believe. He's a good player. He's going to be tough to replace, but again, that's why you recruit, get the next guy ready. JT Layton's a freshman that we brought in from Oak Grove, Louisiana. He's going to play more. He's got some upside and talent, along with Ben Hallmark and Keelan Junior. I mean, those kids will. They're going to be thrust into bigger roles with Jackson being down. Mark Dorsey is the other one, starting corner, wears number 6. He had been dealing with a little bit of a hamstring throughout camp, but again, you can't ever predict like just what pressure does to your body. I think he just got tightly wound. He's got like a grade 2 or grade 3 strain on his hamstring. He'll be out the next couple weeks as well. Neither one of those injuries, and Jackson Kosmeyer's could be in question, but neither one of them seem to be season ending. I hate it for their quarterback. I feel bad. I mean, Dude Person came down and hit him low, and I mean, he's a big kid, so he hit him low, and actually Dude came out with a little bit of stinger on that play too. He came out the next play and was like, man, I can't feel my arm. He got it worked out and went back in, but unfortunately for them, their quarterback went down with a knee injury, one of the 2 they planned on playing. So, I mean, you just hate it in games like that. For both programs, I mean, they're playing albeit on paper, a lesser opponent, and we're playing a bigger opponent. You just hate to see, your season, with players' seasons get affected in those situations. But again, Bobby, football's a violent game. It is. It just is what it is. I mean, we could have been playing Conway High School when that happened. I mean, it's just the luck of the draw as far as the sport goes. So I think we're pretty good. We're bumped and bruised. I mean, we're playing a physical team. That was a physical game. So I think those are the only 2 that should miss significant time for us. Dr. Fiedler?
Hunting game, kicking game.
Yeah.
You really proud of that.
I am. I thought Ty Durham as a kick returner is fearless. Like I said last week, I may have mentioned I feel like he's a psychopath. He is. He just wants to go score. I mean, I'll tell you this, that kid's going to be one, and I've been very open about what I think of Ty Durham, not just as a kick returner, but as a wide receiver. The 4th play of the game, we went to him, and that's because he can fly. And I said, and he ended up getting a pass interference call. He's a special player. I thought he showed a lot of guts the other night on the opportunities he got on kick return. Didn't get any opportunities really on punt return because of the flow of the game and what happened. But punt unit was good, right? They had a big kickoff return once that got called back for a block in the back and a holding call. There was 2 penalties on that play. So we've got to continue to work it. Didn't really get an opportunity to show what we can do on our punt return game, our blocking game, some of that stuff. Again, I've said it, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to try to press the envelope on special teams. I don't think, we were going to be pretty conservative in that game, but we wanted to do some stuff we worked on. So I'm looking forward to see those units really perform this week against Pine Bluff, and hopefully not just our return game, but also our coverage units, really working what we've worked hard on in those spots to, win the 3rd phase of the game. The 3rd phase of the game wasn't wasn't crucial the other night because of just the discrepancy between the offense and defenses in the other phase. They were just a lot better than us. So we've got to master the third phase. So in games that are tight and close, that can be the difference in a ball game. So I'm excited about that group of guys.
Have you got a young Brown report?
Yeah, so I know what you're talking about. Most people are like, who are you talking about? Yeah, Luke's in his last year Rotary Club football. So he plays tonight, game 1. He's on the Patriots again, and he plays the Buccaneers tonight. So I'll have a report next week on how he does. Just go win. That's all I care about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's not going to want to ride home with me if he loses.
He is a right guard, isn't he?
He would scrap. He would scrap. I mean, there's no doubt that kid will scrap. He's a competitor. But now he don't have an ounce of fat on him. I don't know how, but he's a little speed demon. So he'll probably grow out of it at some point. I wasn't known for my speed like Tyner was. All right, awesome. Hey, let's have a great crowd on Saturday. Thank y'all.
How's everybody doing?
All right.
Good, good. Well, good afternoon. I think it's afternoon. Is it?
Yes.
It's, I guess that's right. It's after 12 today, so that's good. Well, it's great to have men's soccer and women's soccer here today, hear about the start of their seasons. And you heard it here. We have a lot of home events this week on campus. So Thursday night, women's soccer at home. Friday, volleyball. Saturday, volleyball. And Sunday, volleyball. And then Saturday as well on the Stripe. So we're excited about that. Wanted to mention a few things just about Saturday. I know several folks will be coming planning to tailgate and all those things. Tailgating will start at noon on Saturday. It's always 6 hours prior to kick. We will close Bruce Street down 3 hours prior to kick, so 3 p.m. And I got my times wrong this morning, so I hope I'm going to say it right today. This afternoon, 3:30 p.m. will be the Bear Walk on Bruce Street as well. So obviously we'll have volleyball going on at noon in the Prince Center, and then again at 4 o'clock. So it will impact traffic a little bit. Just plan for that if you're coming to any of those games. But we're looking forward to having a lot of home events on campus this weekend. So hope to see you out there. Appreciate you being here today. Any questions that I can answer? All right, let's have a great week. Go Bears. Go Sugar Bears. Bear claws up.